What's up guys, it's your girl Nicole.Young and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the top jobs that you are qualified for when you graduate from a coding bootcamp. I have been doing a ton of research and reflecting on what kind of job, role, position I see myself in, along with things like company culture. And I was actually really surprised at all that there is out there that I would be qualified for now that I'm done with my coding bootcamp. So I wanted to share those with you now. Let's get started. So before we jump right into it, I wanted to share with you a tool that has been keeping me sane while going through this crazy transition of going through boot camp, now in a fellowship and job hunting and trying to figure out what my next steps are going to be, and that is NerdWallet. NerdWallet played a major role throughout this entire journey of boot camp and now my transition into the job force because it helped me to make sure that I was making good money decisions along the way. As you guys know, I had to give up freelancing and wasn't really bringing in a lot of extra income as I was going through this journey. So I had to be really smart with the money that I had. NerdWallet made it super easy to find a high yield savings account before bootcamp even started to make sure I was getting the most out of the money I was saving, and also helped me to track the spending that I was doing and just really feeling comfortable knowing that I had everything taken care of with my money right from the app. You can use the link in the description below to download the NerdWallet app right now and get started making better money decisions for yourself. All right, so I have about 13 jobs listed here that I think are super interesting and that I am qualified for moving into straight from boot camp. Some with a little extra experience that I had prior to boot camp, but hey, we're keeping our options open. The first here is back-end developer. So I think it would be super cool to be able to work as a back-end developer. If you are interested in servers and working with APIs, if you love data and storage processes, I think that this is definitely an awesome option right out of bootcamp. The next is front-end developer. So if you love HTML and CSS, if working with JavaScript or in JavaScript frameworks like React is your jam, then I really think that a front-end engineer or a developer would be a super fun job to have right out of bootcamp. This has definitely been one that has been on the top of my list because I really have realized about myself that I love that creative process of building interfaces and working on the front end. So I think it'd be really fun. The next that I have here is a junior developer. And I specifically put this one in there because there are a lot of programs, a lot of companies that have programs bringing in junior developers and really teaching what you need to know to be a thriving engineer or developer for that company. I know there are a lot of companies that have programs like that for entry-level developers and are big on hiring people from bootcamp. So really great options out there. The next is a UX or UI engineer. I have been really interested in learning more about UX UI design just in my free time, and I think mixing that with your development skills could be really powerful, and being able to get a job like a UX or UI engineer. You'd probably work really closely with a design team or, be kind of like the design person on a engineering team, but I think this would be a really fun and potentially super creative job to have. Next is a good old software engineer. We're talking full stack software engineer, potentially in the gaming industry, or maybe building applications for desktop or mobile operating systems. I think this would be really fun. I've had my eye on jobs for companies that have really awesome applications that I use every day. Notion is one of them. Notion, hire me. I think that something like this would be really fun. And if it's an app that you already use or a software that you're already using, I think that would be just really exciting to be able to work on the back end as well. Next, this might be one that is a bit of a surprise to some of you, but I think it is honestly a good option, especially if you are someone who has experience in teaching, and that is being a coding instructor. There are a lot of jobs out there where you can create content or video or do live lessons teaching coding out there, and they're apt to hire people straight from boot camps. You have fresh knowledge and understanding of the technologies, and if you are motivated to continue to learn the technologies that you know, you'd make an awesome instructor. I think that being in a fellowship, being in a teaching fellowship particularly, has really taught me a lot about the development process and being able to answer questions. It has made me a stronger troubleshooter and problem solver. So I think that getting into teaching would be a pretty cool experience. Next is becoming a freelancer. Now you guys know how I feel about freelancing. You know that I've been freelancing before Bootcamp and that it was something that I enjoyed, and I've honestly been thinking about maybe jumping back into it, ramping it up, and maybe potentially upscaling what I was doing originally, and offering more services and kind of being more legit with it. It's an option, and I think that like with boot camps, a lot of the time their focus is getting you into an actual position, because it's kind of like a cyclical benefit for both the boot camps and the companies that they are in partnership with. And for most people, getting into an actual job is the way to go. But if you have it in you to start freelancing and you kind of want to work on your own schedule, I think it's a great option. It's also an awesome option if you just want to have part-time income coming in on top of something else that you're doing. Next is a DevOps engineer. Now, DevOps has been increasingly expanding throughout the time that I've been in tech. I know I first heard of it in the first few years that I was working at a startup, and I think my understanding of it is that it's kind of a bridge between the development side and the engineering side of a company and the operations side of a company. It's kind of like building this bridge between them and making processes more efficient so that a company can deliver the software, product, applications that they are meant to deliver in a more effective and efficient manner. This seems like a really cool job, especially to the type A side of me that is very analytical and very, about the details and love the checklist and having a system. Those are all things that are my jam. I love having order and being into the details, and this DevOps is, it's really becoming more and more popular, and I think companies are starting to realize how much it is needed. Okay, let's see, what's next? Oh, a technical project manager. Now, again, this would maybe be something better if you have experience in project management and now want to pair that with your technical experience, but we need project managers. We need people to delegate tasks and keep everyone on the team on track. So if you are someone that wants to be more in a management position and you've had experience in it, definitely take a look at technical project management positions, because I think it's a really good job, and like, bread, get that bread. This has definitely been something I've been looking into because I had prior managerial experience and I really enjoyed it. So I think having new insight on the technical side and being able to delegate tasks more so than coding all of the time, 8 hours a day, I think that sounds like a lot better to me than starting off at a job where I'm coding all of the time. We'll see. Next is an app developer. I think that We all use apps every day, and the need to be more mobile makes it so that apps are more relevant to the times, I guess. And I think that becoming an app developer is a really sought after skill, and that is particularly if you are trying to specialize in a particular type of app development, such as iOS development or Android development, and really tailoring your style or your coding abilities toward a specific operating system. Because when you do that, you just increase your bag and your potential for securing the bag, and you also are able to bring a little bit more to the table in terms of being an expert at a particular operating system. Usually being an expert is preferred over having broad general knowledge of a particular thing. Okay, next is a software support engineer. Now, I kind of picture this as being kind of like a help desk or customer support type of person, but with a strong technical focus, where you are helping customers problem solve and troubleshoot whatever errors or issues that they are having with the software that they're using. And coming from a job and a company where the feedback loops that we had were super important to making sure that we were evolving our software in the right direction for the customers, it is such a crucial job to have someone that is in the front lines with customers and able to understand the technology that they are using to troubleshoot and help fix those problems, and also bring back really great feedback to the engineering team so that the apps or software that they are working on can be tailored to the specific needs of the clients. Last but not least, and this one might come as a surprise to you, and that is CEO or CTO. Honestly, I have already witnessed times where people are leaving bootcamp and ramping up a startup, building an idea that they have been developing or working on for so long. And once you have the skill set to do it, who better to hire to build your application or your software or your big idea than you? Yes, that's right. Bootcamp graduate, whatever, get the team together and start getting funding and just bring that idea to life. I think it's awesome. I think it's beautiful. I have seen people in my own cohort even leave bootcamp and get right on it with startup life. And I think it's awesome. And I aspire to it. And I definitely have had ideas in the past that I've thought about, hey, maybe doing that. And I've also seen where there are people who have an idea but don't have the technical knowledge and know-how yet, that want to partner with someone with that technical knowledge so that they can build the idea together. And I think that's super cool. It's super awesome. It's been something that people have inquired of me before, and I just wasn't in a good place at the time. But hey, when there's a cool idea and you can build it yourself, I think it's really cool. And the whole startup life thing is really near and dear to my heart. Well, that is my list. That was 12 things, not actually 13. That was 12 things that I have been looking into and really surprised to see that I fit most of the qualifications for. So it's interesting to see that I can broaden my horizons and not just be laser focused on one type of job, which has made the job hunt and like kind of researching different positions really fun. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me to know what you guys are interested in learning and watching, and leave a comment below if you have any other job ideas or things that you know that bootcamp graduates are qualified for, because I'd love to add to the list. I think it'd be helpful for me and those that are watching as well. All right, guys, love you, rooting for you, and can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.